Okay, I got a curtain up behind me so I'm not blasting the sunlight beams. So the question is about racing, training to race an I-Cup race this year that is 16 miles with 2,000 feet of vert. This is for a newer racer, and so I would start kind of with the same kind of similar training that I would do for any newer racer, honestly, regardless of the specifics of the race, which is to focus on kind of general aerobic conditioning, base building. That's going to be a lot of tempo, sweet spot, some threshold, some longer rides. If you're able to get outside and do some longer rides, I don't usually have people do longer rides on the trainer, but that's going to depend on your kind of individual stamina or tolerance for that. But you can think of it as you are laying the foundation to do the higher intensity work that's going to allow you to be fast in the race. But if you focus on the higher intensity work before you have that foundation of more general aerobic conditioning, you're not going to be able to maintain that high intensity fitness. It's going to be pretty fleeting, and you also will not be able to develop repeatability, which is so important for cross-country racing. You'll kind of, if you focus on high intensity work without the foundation, you may be able to do a couple of hard efforts, but you won't be able to repeat them, which is critical. So I would be focused for 2, 3, 4 months. Honestly, you can't really overdo it with that type of base building. It takes years and years. That's why endurance training takes forever. Also why it lasts so long. But it takes years to develop that kind of endurance. And so, 2 to 4 months is really pretty minimal, even though it may sound like it's a long time. So again, focusing on those kind of tempo, sweet spot, and threshold intensities, as well as volume. At that point, you can kind of transition into doing some VO2 max workouts, some anaerobic capacity that's going to kind of target that repeatability that I mentioned. And you will have the foundation at that point to make that lasting. I would also say don't forget to focus on your skills. Skills are free speed in a cross-country race. It also, in addition to when you focus on your skills, in addition to being faster on the technical sections, you also get to recover. So it's kind of a double whammy of benefit when your skills are kind of better relative to your competition. And the repeatability component comes in here as well, because, for example, like with a technical climb, that's often like a series of surges, and your fitness will allow you to repeat those surges, but your skills will allow you to finesse those surges and allow you to not burst quite as hard each time, which is going to save you energy. Those are watts that you're going to be able to use elsewhere in the race if you're not blasting, kind of wasting energy on technical climbs in that way. So in sum, it's very general. It's not super specific. You're focused on aerobic conditioning. If you get into the race and you don't have the top end to match the speed at the start, I would say don't worry, because one of the calling cards of more kind of beginner categories in racing is that they tend to go out very hard, but they don't have that aerobic conditioning to last and maintain that pace through the duration of the race. And so if you feel like you're getting left behind at the start, don't worry. If you've done the aerobic conditioning, base building work, you're going to catch a lot of those riders later in the race. And I would also say work on fueling. That will also help you in the race to stay strong. Other riders may forget to eat and drink, and if that's something that you've practiced in training, that's going to show up for you on race day as well.